How's it going, everybody? RazingHel here, and welcome back to another episode of Don't Starve Together MODlight. I guess that's what it's called. This is the series in which I try to showcase mods that I personally find interesting in the past week or so. So to get started with, we're going to be taking a look at the Forage items pack here. It was created by Ari Akiaza, I think, and it adds the Don't Starve Together Forage events items to the game. So, okay, so here we are in game. As you can see, I'm currently holding the Infernal Staff. You can find the Forage items here in a new tab called the Forage. It has pretty much all of them, but there are still some problems with some of them. For example, if I go ahead and craft the Blossomed Wreath here, you'll notice it actually crops the top of my character's hair off. So, some problems to be fixed there, I suppose. If you drop it as well, it disappears. So it's still there. You can pick it up again, but you can't see it. So there seems to be some shenanigans going on here. So all of the items are here, and most of them are usable. For example, we have the Foraging Hammer, the Molten Darts, the Pith Pike, Riled Lucy, the Living Staff. So let's go ahead and just sort of use a few of these. So this is the Infernal Staff, obviously. You get you can actually see the fireball effect, which is nice because that was something that the reskin of the Fire Staff with the Infernal skin didn't do. It didn't change the animation, the fire animation there at all. So you get to see that really beautiful fireball animation, which is something that you really couldn't get anywhere else. And the same goes for the Living Staff. Like we use the Living Staff here. It's throw some what I can't speak. Let's throw some of the shade at the butterflies and the birds. Yeah. So there you go. That gives you an idea of what the ranged ones. Oh, there's also the Molten Darts. So what should we do about that? Let's shoot that bird. So, Forage Hammer. Let's see what happens here. Oh, we got a bee. So you might notice none of these weapons have durability or anything like that, so they're kind of pretty overpowered for the game. And like I mentioned before, there's some graphical issues with them. Granted, when you drop these items on the ground, they don't disappear, but yeah, as I pointed out before, stuff like wearables, basically, armor, headgear, that stuff pretty much all disappears. So, like right there, it's gone. But it's interesting to see it in the game. One of the biggest concerns, of course, is whether or not this is like on the up and up with clay, because you basically are adding in, you know, skins that they sell. I know it's not quite the same. You can't actually, it's not like when you're going to be crafting an item, you can add these like you would with the traditional Forage items, right? Because like right here is the ham bat from the Forage. But at the same time, it's a very gray area at best, and so I guess I would just recommend to go ahead and actually, you know, try this mod out if you're interested in it before it does get pulled, if it ends up getting pulled, because it's something I and others have concerns about that, I guess you could say. Okay, the last mod we're going to be looking at here for today is called Maxwell Mpc. It's by Cliff W. It ports the Maxwell Mpc from Don't Starve, also with a bonus which has 20% chance to drop from a Maxwell statue. So I'm going to jump back into the world, and we'll see how this goes. Okay, so to see this mod in action, we're actually going to need to mine a Maxwell statue. I think the mod says there is a 20% chance of seeing this event. As you can see right there is Maxwell, he pops up. And, you know, it says, what are you doing? And then he sort of, he changes the season to summer, basically. So we start out here with an endothermic fire to make sure we don't immediately overheat. And now, obviously, as you can see by the color palette, we are in the summer season. So in some ways, it's a little bit like the icebox trap, except you have to mine a Maxwell statue to see it. And it doesn't appear to work all the time. Either this is by design or there is a small problem with it somewhere. But so far, I've only seen him changing this season to summer be the only result of seeing that little cutscene, I guess you could call it, that we saw there a second ago. It would be interesting to see some more seasons, a little bit more randomized, I guess you could say, but this works as well, and I thought it was just kind of interesting to see more of these set pieces in the world. If you think about it, it would make complete sense for Maxwell to become a bit incensed if he found out you actually were mining his statues down. seems to be perfectly in character. So that pretty much does it for today. The links to all of the mods that I covered in this video will be included in the description below, as always. If you enjoy any of them, be sure to thank their creator for taking the time to share it with us. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching as always, and I hope to see you next time.